I'm John Stallworth. My colleagues and I are devoted to encourage and strengthen men and women around the world who are committed to make the biggest positive difference they can through their leadership. I'd like to share for a few minutes about the journey into the realization that leadership actually even matters. And I'd like you to think about this with me, reflecting on the trajectory of your own life from when you were a younger man, a younger woman, doing whatever it is that you were passionate about doing, to where you are now, where you have responsibilities for others. When I was young, my interest, my great joy was in enterprise. And what lit me up, woke me up, was how an idea that someone had could be executed upon so that that idea came to life. And I thought I would spend my life in that space, helping people who were entrepreneurs, social sector or private sector entrepreneurs, or dreamers or visionaries, take what was planted within them, the idea, the passion, the vision that they had to do something, and then implement that so that the idea would move to reality. That lit me up. And early on, when I was in my 30s, I had the great joy and opportunity to join an organization called Pittsburgh Leadership Foundation. And that's all we did. I joined the founder of that organization, a man named Reed Carpenter, and I went on point for Reed to work with dreamers, entrepreneurs, visionaries who pioneered things. I think of this through the lens of a Christian worldview where the notion that comes into the heart or the soul of somebody is there for a reason, is there for a purpose. But with or without that worldview, it works the same way. I watch this all over the world where you see someone who cares about something, who thinks about something, who feels things about what's going on around them, and then comes to a sense that they're going to do something about it. And then they get busy with that. And so it was a marriage made in heaven for me. In my mid-30s, I had already created a couple of organizations myself. And the idea that I could help others walk that path from idea to implementation of idea to fulfillment of their dreams so that what was inside of them would come out of them and get out to the world was awesome. And so over the years, I was working with hundreds and hundreds of pioneers, entrepreneurs, dreamers, innovators, and I increasingly and rather rapidly began to notice something that was very troubling to me. Here's what I noticed. And again, I'd really like you to think about your journey. I have the joy of knowing thousands of leaders who have taken this trip from their youth into their execution of what's inside of them, into the struggles of bringing that to life. So I want you to think about this with me. I began to notice that a great idea that the world actually needs, it doesn't matter what kind of idea it is, it works the same way. It might be someone who wants to reach out to children in their neighborhood. It might be someone who has a skill that they believe that they can take into the marketplace. It might be someone who invents something and realizes, wow, that doesn't exist, and I can do something with that, build something with that. They take that idea out into the world, great idea. They find people to support them, including financially. So great idea capitalized, funded. Maybe they borrow some money to fund it themselves, and then they go after it. And then trouble begins to emerge. It is guaranteed that the person who produces something of worth in the world gathers around themselves people who want to invest in that, financial and otherwise. And if it in fact is valuable, sooner or later, people come to join that person to help get the work done. I'm describing something elementary, simple. We all know how this works. But what happens next is that in that people dimension, I as dreamer, I as innovator, getting something done, proving that it works, finding customers, clients, people I can serve, they're happy, more people hear about it. I get more work as a product of that. Now I need help, so I get some people to help me. Invariably, trouble emerges at that juncture in the beautiful story of value creation. And that trouble is a leadership kind of trouble, because suddenly the innovator, the pioneer, the entrepreneur, the founder needs to understand something that wasn't built into their original idea. That's what I want to share with you a little bit about for a few minutes, telling you my story, laying the groundwork of this conversation, and connecting to your story with regard to that people element. Sooner or later, if we do something worth doing, we become leaders. Sooner or later, if we're good at our job, we get promoted to leadership. It is invariable. There's an old saying that, it comes from a man who wrote a book back in 1960, a man named Lawrence Peter, and they call it the Peter Principle. And Lawrence Peter said that people tend to get promoted into incompetence. And I think that had I known Lawrence, I might not have liked him very much. I find in his writings a kind of dark view of life and reality, but he saw something that was accurate. The career path, the work path of people moves from I'm excited, I'm good, I know what I'm doing, I'm after it. I just graduated from college, I have my degree, I built a skill, I'm working on it, I'm hitting my marks, I have an idea, I implement it, people are interested, I have investors, and then in due course, I'm not so good at it. And in due course, I begin to run into difficulties. And in due course, I discover that really good people who joined me leave. That trajectory was observed by Lawrence Peter in his book, The Peter Principle. And I thought about that for years. And here's the conclusion I came to maybe 20 years ago. Lawrence Peter was descriptively right. He observed reality. The growth path from youth into adulthood, into years of labor, is one in which we run into issues and challenges and demands that are above our capacity. And so we do become caught up in difficulties. But he was analytically wrong. It is not incompetence that we get promoted into. It's leadership. It's leadership. If we are successful, if our idea is good, if we do our job excellently for the company we serve, are noticed. And then people want to join us. And on the day that happens, we have a brand new job. It is no longer being a great marketer, a great filmmaker, a great mason, a great technician, a great inventor. That's what got us started. A great nurse, a great teacher, a great doctor, a great pastor. That's what got us started. If we do it well, we get a new job. And that new job involves people. That new job is leadership. Picture it this way. And again, think about your own journey. When I was a boy, my entire self-awareness in and around work was the awareness of my performance. How was I doing? How was I graded? Did mommy like how I did the dishes? Are the dishes clean? Were they dry enough? Did she make me redo them? Was the bed right? I performed a task. I got graded on that task. Did Dad think that I mowed the grass well? Did I miss some grass? I performed. And we go through school, our coaches, they observe our performance. Our teachers observe our performance. And it's as though we're on the front stage of life, performing. And the audience is, mom, dad, coach, pastor, teacher, boss. And we get a grade. Did we do good? Did we get to pass to the next level? Are we going to get a promotion? Are we going to get a raise? But when we become leaders, all of that changes, all of it. Because suddenly it's as though we are backed away from the front of the stage. There's still an audience that needs service. There's a customer, a client, a student, a patient. Somebody needs to be served. But we're not on the front of the stage doing the performing anymore. Our people are. And so we have 3 people helping us, and we have 30 people helping us, and we have 300 people helping us. And the people out there grading performance aren't seeing us at all. Everything that touches them, quality and warmth and excellence and timeliness, you make your list. Everything that causes the people who are in the audience of our enterprise to like our enterprise or not to like it, everything is being done by our people. The safety standards, the quality tests, the on-time work nature of it, the customer service, the second-mile effort that makes people think, wow, that's real. I love going there. All of it is done by our people. And we are on the back of the stage serving them. And I'll just tell you that I have yet to find in the life development process very much help for people to learn how to lead well. It looks a little like this. I know what needs to be done. I know what excellence looks like. The vision was birthed in me, or I was the star performer on the team up until I got promoted to team leader. I know what's required. I have a reason to come to work and do great work every day. I'm lit up by this. But how do I get my folks to be lit up? How do I convey to them that they should do great work? How do I give them a sense of this is cool to do? How do I convey the standards to them? How do I give my work team experience a sense of dignity and cause the people who come to work every day to have a sense of worthiness when they come to work and go above and beyond? That is the leadership question. How is my behavior impacting my people such that they do fantastic work? And I've looked at education programs that prepare teachers to teach, but not to lead. I've looked at business schools that prepare young business leaders to analyze data or build marketing plans or think through the financial record keeping, but not to lead. And I could go on down the list. This thing that Lawrence Peter observed is universal. We get into something. If we do well, we get elevated into a position to lead others to do that thing, and then we're over our head. And so that took me back as a young man to square one. And I began to realize there was something missing in the equation of enterprise. Great idea, adequately capitalized, planned out well, executed, vigorously, with studious attention and discipline and commitment and accountability. But one more variable, leadership. Leadership. Do I know how to behave in such a way that causes teamwork, that causes the people around me to become aligned and engaged, to have passion, to have purpose, to trust me, to be willing to take risks and go above and beyond what I've asked of them because they know I've got their back? How do I behave as a leader such that I can build that? And I just want to make a couple of comments about this for these reflections today. I've already said one, which is that seldom are we taught those things. I'll share more about this in subsequent opportunities to share with you, but seldom are we taught those things? Usually we learn them in the trial and error and face plant followed by face plant manner of human living. Often we feel isolated from others who could help us. Often we feel over our head. And yet, in spite of all of those daunting realities, I have seen hundreds and thousands, and I know, as a matter of fact, that there are indeed tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and millions of excellent leaders. Leadership is the independent variable in excellence. Leadership. That's true in your home. That's true in your neighborhood. That's true in your city. That's true in your nonprofit organization. That's true in your business. That's true in your church or your faith community. Leadership is the independent variable. You bring a lot of other assets together, and they can fail horribly if the leader or the leaders don't understand their behavior, their impact on people, and the specific skills, disciplines, practices they need to get good at. If they want a group to come together aligned and engaged, filled with passion and meaning, vigorously seeking alongside the leader to do good things in the world. And it boiled down for me probably 25 years ago to a simple problem that, quite frankly, has been the organizing problem of the last 2.5 decades of my life. If our world will not get better without better leaders, if my family will not get better without better leadership, if my enterprise will not get better without better leadership, then we need to find better leaders. And I can only give you one solid pathway to find them. You want a better world. You want a better business. You know you need better leaders. Here's the way you get them. Make the decision to become one yourself. I'm speaking right now to good leaders. I'm speaking to friends. You're watching this because you're on a journey of becoming more accountable and aware and skillful at having the impacts that you want to have, so that what is inside of you comes out of you and goes out to the world in a way that's good for others. And I just want to encourage you that you are in very, very wonderful company around the world. If you have struggled with this, if you are working on this, if you have an interest in your life making a difference that's bigger than you, then you are in excellent company. And so be encouraged in the learning process. It's not fast. We will be talking about many elements of this learning process as we proceed. But I want to thank you for the decision to take on the weight of leadership, to take on the weightiness of making the best and biggest and most positive impact you can in the world through your leadership.
For more information about the Center for Serving Leadership, visit our website at centerforservingleadership.com.